Have I got a special video for you today? Now's a good time to push pause, go get yourself a nice hot cup of coffee or tea, whatever your beverage of choice is. Pull up a chair because we're going to talk axes today. And not just any axe, but a special axe. Looks pretty small, huh? So let me give you a little background here. So I was recently contacted by a gentleman by the name of Dave Canterbury. Maybe you guys know him from the TV series Dual Survivor, bushcraft extraordinaire, teacher, author, and I'm glad to say my new friend. We had a great conversation on the phone. He contacted me through YouTube. He's a subscriber, watches the videos, and asked me if I would be willing to handle a very special axe for him. And I agreed to do so. So we spoke on the phone, talked a little bit about it, kind of what he wanted, what I wanted, and he gave me free rein and basically said, do it how you would do it yourself if it belonged to you. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So what do we have here? Why am I so excited about this? I have not been this excited about an axe. Well, I can't even remember being this excited because I've never seen anything like this before. And, well, let's get into it. What is it? This is a Norlund. N-O-R-L-U-N-D. And the factory original sheath, you can see right there the Norlund logo. I was not familiar with this brand, but I have since done some research and know a little bit about it. Look at that. It's a pocket axe. It's a double-bitted, tiny pocket axe. You can see how small it is there. What's the overall length there? 6 inches, give or take. 6 inches. So I've spent a lot of time with this over the last couple days, thinking about it, doing research on it, because I want to really do a nice job on this. I want to make David the perfect handle. He's going to use this tool. He's going to be teaching with it, and it's important, if it has my mark on it, that it is perfect, as good as it can be. The Norlund Company, a little bit of history. For as far as I can ascertain, started in about 1968, and one of the founders, if not the founder, went to Sweden to kind of study axe design and manufacturing techniques. They wanted to perform something, or they wanted to produce something that was super high quality, not just an axe to sell at a five and dime or at a hardware store, but something that was exceptional, marketed to sportsmen. And so you can see in their logo, and I found it very interesting when I first saw this, it says, this is a Norlund Hudson Bay axe designed by experts. I thought, well, that's easy enough to say. Anyone can write a label like that. But I looked at it and went over and over it, and I realized that, yes, indeed, it is designed by experts, and there is a tremendous amount of design and attention to detail in this little axe. First off, the thing I noticed was a traditional axe is ground two ways, two sides. You have more of a blunt edge ground over on one side that's kind of a utility edge that's a durable edge. Has a very steep angle. And that's good for chopping hard items, or if you're going to be chopping into the ground, it's not so likely to chip. On the other end, you will have a much finer or keener edge cut. And that is your primary edge that you're going to be doing your work with. That's what you're going to do your felling with. Perfect example here. I can show you what I consider to be about the high watermark of axe technology, my 1927 Sager Chemical Puget Sound pattern. You see how it's not symmetrical there? You can see here that this end is much shorter than this end here. Well, that was designed to work in the big trees. They needed to get in there and to really bite, and that face cut. But what I want to show you is the way this axe is ground. And I have ground this myself this way. You can see how gradual and how thin that grind is. This is the working edge. That's where I'm going to be felling. And this here is the utility edge. You can see they're shorter, a much more durable tip. A little side note on Sager Chemicals, which I consider to be probably some of the finest axes ever produced. The Sager Chemical process, it was a secret way to temper or to finish steel. They used some sort of a chemical. Unfortunately, the man who owned the company, who knew the secret, took it to the grave with him. So no one knows how they treated their steel. But what the result is an edge that is incredibly durable. So you can see right here, a lot of people, when I was grinding this axe on the so-called forum experts, another reason I don't like forums, said that you've destroyed that axe and it's not going to perform. You've ground it too thin. It's going to break off. I've only sharpened this axe one time, and I have cut many, many trees down. All of the videos that I've done over the past few years has been, felling has been done with this axe. And still here it is, hair popping, razor sharp, not a defect. And I really pushed it to the max by grinding it that thin. But it speaks to the quality of these axes. If you don't have one of these and you're an axe enthusiast, you need to get one, because they're not being made anymore and they are becoming harder and harder to find. So back to this. So what I found was designed by experts. Absolutely, it was designed by experts. Check this out. What we have is we have this design already from the factory with the utility edge here. If we look real close, you can see that it's fat. You can even feel it. I can feel it with my hands. And over here on the working side, it's almost, I wouldn't say it was a hollow grind, but it has that feel to it, a very thin tapered cut. So then I put my tape on it and I realized, or my tape measure there, I realized that we've got to the outside 2 1/4, and on the utility edge, we've got 2 1/16, or 2. So it's actually, it's copies the Sager chemical in the fact that that cutting or working edge is actually longer, and the cheeks of the axe here are thinner, which is going to cut and bite really good. I was impressed with that, really impressed. We'll regrind all this. I'm going to make a handle. Did I say that? I'm going to make a handle for it. That'll be in the next video, but I just want to kind of show it to you and demonstrate what we have and what I'm going to do. So, why is it painted orange? I found some original Norland axes that were still in the original packaging with handles, and they had the orange on the top. That must have been their trademark or their seal of approval or something. This one, David told me it came to him. He thinks it's brand new. It came from the factory with the handle cut off. And when we spoke on the phone, he was of the opinion that it was probably there was an issue with the handle when they originally hung it, and they probably just cut it off and to go deal with it later. Maybe they sold them to employees. Maybe they had special sales. Who knows? We don't know because the company's not around anymore. But I'm pretty convinced that it's never been used, and this is probably the factory grind. I know this is the factory finish on the paint because I've seen new ones in the packages that share that same coating. Here we have the beautiful Norland logo and script there, cast into the axe. And of course, we can see from this one example, perfect grain orientation. It would have came from the factory that way. What a treasure. And to have the original sheath is also very nice. So we've got some decisions to make. David said that he thought a traditional pocket axe like this would have about a 12-inch handle. Okay, so here's a handle that's this is about a 10-inch handle. And when I looked at it, to me, that's too small. That's not the right proportion. Let's hold it out a little bit. That's not the right proportion for this axe. The head is substantial enough. It needs more than that. And he told me to do it how I would do it, and that's what I'm going to do. Sorry, David. So here, what do we have? Here's 13.5 inches. What do you think of that? How does the 13.5 inches look as far as the right scale? To me, that looks too small. Still. All right. So let's jump up to, what do we have here? 16 1/4. This beautiful vintage Regina handle. 16 1/4. Of course, we're not going to put this type of handle on there, but I'm just getting it for scale. Now we're starting to get close right there, don't you think? Pretty close. And that's at, what do we have? That's 16 1/4. So I think probably something in this line right here. Tell me what you think. What do you think is the right scale for this? What looks right to you? It's going to be used. This is not going to be a wall hanger. David said he's going to be using this for bushcrafting and demonstration and classes. So we want something that is going to fit his hand well and it's going to be useful and not too big. But this axe does carry some weight, so I think it needs to have a little bit longer handle. So what do we have here? We've got this piece of hickory is 16.5, and it'll ultimately finish out at about 16. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Somewhere in there. That's going to be nice. I'm really excited about doing this and looking forward to producing this handle. So this is the piece of hickory that I've got selected for the Norland pocket axe. You can see we'll have good grain orientation. You know, perfect to be straight up and down. This is good. This is totally acceptable in my book. But that's where we'll start. And man, I'm excited. This is going to be a fun project. I just wish this was mine. I've never seen one of these, and I did find one on eBay, but it was finished. I don't know if it had the original handle, and I think it was around, well, it was like $170. This is too much for an axe for me. I couldn't do that. But boy, if you're looking for a Christmas present for Wranglerstar and you come across one of these at a flea market, buy it. Buy it, because I would just love to have one. That is really special. Never seen it. Never seen it. All right, so I guess that's about it. Next video, we'll get started. I'm going to really go into detail on this, making this handle, and share everything with you in the process. And I think it's going to turn out really nice, and I think David's really going to love it. So I'm really honored that he considered me to do this for him. And looking forward to more projects together. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you on part 2. I know you want one. I completely understand. So do I. Trust me. I know where you're coming from. So I've got some great videos for you here. Top left, it is the season. Tuning a snowboard. Yeah, is that modern homesteading? Well, maybe not, but something useful nonetheless. Top right is the first time I ever used a brush axe. It was sent to me by a very kind subscriber, Colin's brush axe, and we went through into the forest and really put it through its paces, and that was an interesting tool. Bottom left, probably my favorite video of all time, when Mrs. Wranglerstar and I cut down a giant Douglas fir tree with an axe and a crosscut saw. If you haven't seen that, I really invite you to watch that. I think you'll enjoy it. And bottom right, again, I have so many favorites. Another favorite, a young boy by the name of Jack contacted me and was trying to save up for an axe. And well, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but I think you'll enjoy that video as well. We were able to hook him up and look forward to what he is able to accomplish with that. So if you haven't already, take a moment to click the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on part 2 or the next video.